of what we say, uh, the NSET exam that you will have, there are several chapters, right? The number theory, expo logs, prop states, ratio prop, sets, speed, distance, time and work, profit and loss, percentages, right? Out of those, this 10 chapters, the top 4 chapters, right? The number theory, expo logs, props and stats and permutations and combinations are the most important chapters, right? So out of 19 questions, so there are total 19 questions in your exam in the maths part, right? It's now just to give you a thing. This is a 2 hour exam. 2 hour exam. You would be having 19 maths questions, and as far as I know, 15 to 16 LR questions, right? And 2 hour exams. So out of those 19 questions, almost 50 percentage, almost 50 percentage of chapters would be 50 percentage of the questions would be from these topics: number theory, expo logs, prop stats, and permutations combinations, right? So if you cover these chapters properly, you would be very easily able to what we say, clear your cutoff and go to the round 2, right? Now, um, moving forward for the LR part. In the LR part again, what is the scene? There are chapters like blood relation, coding, decoding, a series, uh, directions and stress. These are the most important and chapters, right? In LR, there is no theory, right? It's just your common sense. The skills that you use means you might have solved many questions in the past, right? Similar questions. So you just have to apply those and in your exam and solve the questions. So what we'll do today is quickly we will solve 6 to 7 maths questions and 2 to 3 LR questions, and then we would have a discussion among ourselves, right? So to begin with, I'll just cover the most basic, what we say, topics that are important, right? So we'll start with this: that what is a permutation and what is a combination, right? So what happens? What happens? Talking about the round 2. In round 1 also this is important, but in round 2, the interviewer uh, might ask you that why did you use permutation over here and not combination, or vice versa, right? And if you are not able to answer those type of questions, then it would be not means it would not create a good what we say, image of you to the interviewer, right? So you should know the basics. And what I have seen, that most of the students are mostly confused about this. So we would cover this: that what is a permutation? Permutation is nothing but anything which deals with the arrangements, right? Anything which deals with arrangements, it's called permutation. And in arrangement, as you know, arrangement, the order matters, right? And what is a combination? Combination is nothing but something called as selection, where order doesn't matter, right? Just to give you an example, permutation, selecting the batting order, selecting the batting order of Indian cricket team. Here we would use permutations, that how many orders are possible. But selecting an 11-member team out of the 15 members squad, here we would use combinations, right? Now, after this, the two most important laws, right, are the law of multiplication and law of addition, right? This is the principle of counting. If you get the clear idea about this, you can solve any equations literally that you might have in your exams, right? So when do we multiply two events? Let's say that there is an event A which can occur in m ways. There is an event B which can occur in n ways. Then, if we want to find out the total number of ways in which event A and B occurs simultaneously, right? Which means when the two events are occurring together or simultaneously, then we multiply the number of outcomes of both the events. And when the two events are happening independently, that means there is no overlap of the events, then in that case, we add the number of outcomes over there, right? And the second most important thing is the formulas. These are the 5 formulas that for logarithms and exponents, right? Out of this 5, this is the most important formula that you might and you should know, by the way, which is the change of base rule. So just to give you a quick brief, like if we have something sort of log base AB, and if we want to change the base from A to, let's say, C, then log base AB is equals to log base CB upon log base CA. So this is the most important formula, and we would solve many equations which would be using this, right? Okay. So now we will come to the questions. But before moving to the questions part, let me go back to the go back over here. Any doubts till now? Any doubts till now? Then we'll go and solve the questions. No doubts, right? Perfect. I am getting no's. Perfect. Perfect. Great. Fantastic. Okay, I'll go back over here. Okay, so this is your first question, guys. This is the first question. Just take 2 minutes. I'll be in the pause mode right now. Just take 2 minutes. Think what we would do over here, how we would solve these questions, right? How we would solve these questions. What is the method that you would use to get the answer? I'll wait for 2 minutes. Try to solve this, and in the till then, in the chat box, type how do you solve this, right? It would be better if you give me approach rather than the final answer, correct? Because approach is more important than the answer. Means basically right now. Okay, so right now it's 6:14 somewhat. So I'll wait till 6:16, 6:16, 6:17. Try to solve this question. Okay. I hope you would have gone through this question. You would have seen the question, so I can go to the chats, right? So that I can see your chats. Okay, Saloni gave me the answer as 150. Okay, great. Uh, it might be the answer. I don't know. Saloni, can you just type how did you solve this? What was the approach that you took? 175. Bhupal, sorry for the wrong pronunciation, like Bhupal and Gautam, okay. 175. It would be better if you write the approach. Darla gave 65. So I'm getting three answers, and three of them are different answers. So, could you please like tell me that what's your approach? How did you got this answer? I'll wait for one more minute and then I'll start solving the question. Sir, answer should be multiple of 3. Answer should be multiple of 3. Okay. Like k is equals to xyz, m is equals to this. Okay, correct. Perfect, Saloni. I am seeing that you are going in the right direction. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So let me start solving this question. Let me start solving this question. So yeah, if you see at any question, the most important thing that you need to do is to first read the questions carefully and write all the given information properly in your rough sheets or anything that you use, right? So let's read the question. So the question says that in a high level encryption system, a security key K is generated as the product of 3 distinct prime codes XYZ. Okay, so it has said that K is something, a number or key, which is something like the product of 3 prime numbers, which is XYZ. This is given. Okay. If the encrypted if the encrypted strength value M is defined by the expression this is the expression, we need to find the total number of positive factors of the strength. Perfect. Okay, so there is a strength equation which is given something as k to the power 6, z to the power 3, x4 y square, x4 y square. Okay, and we know that k is equals to xyz. So k to the power 6 would be x to the power 6, y to the power 6, z to the power 6. So if we just substitute this in this equation, we would get something like x to the power 6, y to the power 6, z to the power 6, z cube upon x4 y square. Okay, if we use the exponents rules, I hope everybody over here are familiar with that rules, right? If the base is same and we are multiplying 2, then it gets added. If they are divided, then it gets subtracted, right? So it would be x 6 minus 4 times y 6 minus 2 times z 6 plus 3, right? So m would be written as x square y to the power 4 and z to the power 9. Perfect. I got this. I got this. But now the question is that I need to find the total number of positive factors of this number. Now here comes the interesting thing. How can I find the total number of factors of a given equation or a given prime factorization of a number? Like it is said in the question that x, y, z are the prime numbers, are prime codes which identifies that they are the prime numbers. So if these are the prime numbers, so the important thing that you should remember in the exam, this might come in your exams, that number of factors is nothing but equals to the powers plus one. Means it's something like this. So let me generalize this. So if a number is represented as the prime factors, x to the power a, y to the power b, z to the power c, xy to the power d, xz to the power e, something like, and so on. And we need to find the total number of positive factors. Then it would be nothing but a plus 1 times b plus 1 times c plus 1 times d plus 1, c plus 1, and so on, right? So similarly, using this same thing over here in our question, the total number of factors would be what? 2 plus 1 times 4 plus 1 times 9 plus 1, which would give nothing but 3 into 5 into 10, which is 15 into 10. So 150 becomes the answer to this question. Answer. So if I go to the answer, 150 is the answer, right? Okay, let me go back to the chats now. Any doubts in this questions? In this question, so sorry. So that formula about a plus 1, b plus 1, and c plus 1, we can derive, but it would take a long time over here. So just for now, you can learn that thing, right? That how should we, so one thing to take from over here is that if we have a number presentation in the form of prime factors, then in that case, if we want to find the number of factors, then what we have to do is do the summation plus 1 and plus 1 the power of the factor and multiply those, right? So this was the key take away from this question, right? Let's move on to the next question. Uh, yeah, again, read this question carefully. Take 1 or 2 minutes. Take 1 or 2 minutes. Read this question in the chat box. Tell me how would we solve this. So basically, as far as I know, this is a PNC question, and if I need to tell you the LOD of this question, LOD means level of difficulty. This would be a medium question. Medium question, right? This type of questions you can expect a lot in your scalars exam, right? Like a story based, right? There is a story created to ask the question. So scalar loves this type of questions. Okay, no worries. It's 6:22. I'll wait 1 more minute. Let me go back to the chats. Okay, I am getting answers. 840 is the answer. Okay, 192 is the answer. Okay. Like both of you, like could you specify your reasons for this answer, like what you did, how did you solve this question? Or if you want, if you guys are interested to explain your approach, I can unmute yourselves also. I can unmute you guys, and you can then what we say uh, answer. The maximum number of such pin codes is 72, Shubham. Okay, Shubham, how it's 72? Could you means explain it? Like, how did you got the 72? 33. Okay, getting answers. That's interesting. That's interesting that you guys are trying to solve this. Devansh got 72. Okay, 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 great. Let's read this question together. 8 factorial upon 2 factorial, 2 factorial, 2 factorial. Saloni, um, how did you did this? Like, why this? Why did you did this? Could you explain? A plus B is equals to C plus D. Huh? Correct. Uh, Perfect. Means the sum of first two digits. I think so. It's that thing you are trying to explain that. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the question. Let's go over here. So again, mentioning the same thing. If you get any question, the first step is to read it properly and write all the given information in the question properly. Right. So let's read. Late at night, after returning from a long day, a person stops at an ATM only to realize that he cannot remember his 4-digit PIN code. Okay. The machine times out and he steps aside, trying to reconstruct the code from memory. While the exact digits escape him, he is confident about few specific details because he had deliberately chosen the PIN using simple rules. Okay. This first 4 lines were irrelevant, right? No information provided. Okay. He remembers that 4 digits were distinct. With 4 digits were distinct. Okay. So two informations I got from this 4 words. So first, 4-digit number, 4-digit PIN code. Second, all were distinct means all digits are unique, right? Means there is no repetition. No repetition. Perfect. Okay. With no digit repeating anywhere in the code. Perfect. He recalls that 7 was the largest digit used. Perfect. I got the third also. 7 is the largest. Okay. Meaning no digit in the pin was greater than 7. Yes. In addition, he distinctly remembers setting up a pin so that the sum of the first 2 digits was exactly equals to the sum of the last 2 digits as a personal mnemonic. With only these constraints in mind, he begins to wonder how many different 4-digit pin codes could satisfy all the conditions he remembers. So we need to find the maximum number of such pin codes. Okay. And the last thing was that if this is a 4-digit number, if this is the 4-digit number in this form ABCD, as I think so Shubham mentioned, so this would be A plus B is equals to C plus D, right? So this is the fourth condition. Okay, now using this 4 conditions and using the PNC properties, can we solve this? Of course, right? So see, what all are the possible digits? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? These are the possible digits through which we can make a 4-digit pin, right? Now, one question from my side. Can 0 be on the first place? Can 0 be on the first place? Everybody? Yes and no. Can we get a 0 on first place? Like in chat, I am seeing everybody as yes, but there is someone who has done no also. Salone is saying no. Uh, okay, so so this is a kind of great thing, but so we can have 0 on the first place because this is a 4-digit pin and not a 4-digit number. If it would be a 4-digit number, then we can't keep 0 in our first place, right? But as this is an ATM pin and the pin can start with a 0 because it's not a 4-digit number or it's 4-digit mathematical number. So we can have 0 on the first place also, right? Okay, okay. Now I have to find that I have to create any number of 4-digit, how many ways I can create 4-digit numbers such that I can fulfill this constraints. Okay, thinking how to solve. Should I go and type all the possible numbers? Should I do a hit and trial, or any PNC can be used over here? Thinking. Okay, so constraint is that the sum of the first two numbers is equals to the sum of the next two numbers, right? So from here, I can think of something of creating like a group, right? Okay. So for simplicity, if I fix 7 to be on the first digit, 7 to be on the first digit, and now I'll create cases. I create cases of the sums, right? So when there is something constraint of sum, we create cases, right? So first is 7 and 6. So if we keep 7 in the first digit, 6 in the second digit, so 7 plus 7 is 14, so 13. Can we do a sum of 13 using any of the remaining digits? No, right? So 7 6 is not possible. Is 7 5 possible? 7 plus 5 is what? 12. Can we create a sum of 12? 6 plus 4 highest is 10, not 12, right? So 7 and 5 is also not possible. 7 and 4, which is 11. Can we get 11 as the sum? Definitely yes, right? 6 and 5. So we got our first case. So this is the first case, which is what? 7465. Is this the only digit, only number possible, only pin possible using this 4 digits? No, right? These are two boxes, right? We can arrange the numbers 7 and 4. We can arrange this two numbers 6 and 5. We can also arrange this both boxes, right? We can arrange those two blocks. We can arrange the numbers present inside the blocks, right? So how can we solve it? 7 and 4 can be arranged in 2 factorial ways. 6 and 5 can be arranged in again 2 factorial ways, and those two blocks can be arranged in 2 factorial ways. So, and how many numbers are possible? 8 pins are possible. 8 different pins are possible for this case, which is 7465. Okay, let's find out any other cases, right? Other cases. So 7 and 4. Anything else possible for sum as 11? I think so. No, right? Let's go on to the next. 7 3. Again, let me write the numbers. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 7 plus 3, it's 10, right? 6 and 4, it's possible, right? 6 and 4. This is the second case. Again, this would be done in 8 ways, right? Anything else, it's possible. 5 5 is not possible, right? 5 5 is not possible because the constraint says that repetition is not allowed. Correct? Okay, let's move forward. 7 and 2. 7 and 2. 7 plus 2 gives us 9, right? 7 and 2 gives us 9. So 7 2 6 3 also, it's 9, right? And 7 2 5 4, it's 9. So these are the two cases possible for the sum as 9, right? And all these cases would be done in 8 ways. Perfect. Okay, let's move forward from 7 and 1. 7 and 1, it's 8. How many different possible cases? 6 2 is 8. 7 1 5 3 is 8, right? We can't use 4 4. Again, it should be unique, right? So this would be filled in 8 ways. Again, this in 8 ways. Now going to the sum as 7 7 0 7 0. The sum is 7, right? 6 1, right? 7 0 6 1, 7 0 5 2, 7 0 4 3. Any other cases possible? 7 8 9, right? And each could be filled in 8 ways. So we can say total number of cases are 9. Ways for each case is 8. So final answer becomes 9 into 8, which is 72. So 72 different pins are possible for this constraint, right? I hope you guys uh, got the thing how we solved it. If you guys have any doubts, or if you are unclear with anything, this is the time. Type it in the chat. If you have any time, type it in the chat. I'm getting no's. Perfect. So there are no doubts. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So we can move further. Let's go on to the next question. Yeah. This is the question. Again, take 2 minutes. Take 2 to 3 minutes to solve this. These are the questions which are very much similar to the questions that you might get tomorrow in your exams, right? So try to solve it right now along with me. Try to get all your doubts clear for the particular questions which we are solving. So you are 100% sure about the concepts that you use in these questions, right? Hmm. Have you read the question? Uh, any approach that you might think of? Any approaches? Make cases. When you are saying make cases, okay. I'll wait few minutes more before I start solving this question. Guys, let's make the session interactive. Means keep typing your approaches in the chat box. Let's solve it together, right? Like Dharinesh, okay, whatsoever, is saying the answer is 25 upon 256. Pragna got the answer as 5 upon 52. The conditional probability is equals to 5 upon 52. Okay. Guys, like, could you explain, like, how did you got this? 5 upon 52. Darla also got 5 upon 52. Okay. I if I say that this answer means I also don't know what's the answer, but yeah, how did you guys getting this? Could you means let's be interactive, right? Uh, can you type the approach in English, like because this is this, I did this, and hence the answer is this, something like this. Okay, okay. Let me go on solving this question then. First, again, let's read the question. Suppose that box one contains 8 red, 3 blue, 5 green balls. Okay, so there are boxes. Let me draw boxes. This is first box, 8 red, 3 blue, and 5 green balls. Okay, so total this gives us 11 plus 5. There are 16 balls in total in this. Okay. Box 2 contains 24 red, 9 blue, and 15 green. Okay, this there is a box 2 also. Box 2, 24 red, 9 blue, and 15 green balls. Okay, perfect. So if I do a sum, it's 33 plus 15, it is 48. 48 balls. Okay. Now there is a box 3 which contains 1 blue, 12 green, and 3 yellow. Okay, one more box. Box 3, 1 blue, 12 green, and 3 yellow balls. Okay. So total 12 plus 3, it's 15 plus 1, again 16 balls. Okay. Box 4 contains 10 green, 16 orange, and 6 white. Okay. There is one more box. Many boxes are there, but it's fine. Okay. There is a box 4 which contains 10 green, 16 orange, 10 green, 16 orange, and 6 white balls. 6 white balls. So if I sum it, 16 plus 16, this is 32 balls. 32 balls. Okay. Okay. So I wrote everything which is given in the question. Perfect. Now let's read the question further. A ball is chosen randomly from box 1. Okay. From box 1, one ball is chosen and it is said to be B, right? Call this ball B. If B is red, okay. 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 So if B is red, then a ball is randomly chosen from box 2. Okay. Then from box 2. Okay. If ball is blue, then the ball is chosen from box 3. And if B is green, it is chosen from box 4. Okay. If ball is blue, the ball is taken from box 3. If ball is green, then it is taken from box 4. Perfect. Okay. Got it. Now, what the question is saying? The question is asking for the conditional probability of the event, which is saying one of the chosen balls is white, given that the event at least one of the chosen ball is green has happened. Okay, so what it is asking that it is asking this is at least one green, right? It is asking us this is the conditional probability formula. Oh, sorry, the representation that one ball which is green, it has been taken. Now after that, what is the probability that a white ball would be chosen, right? What is the probability that a white ball would be chosen? uh, do you know the formula of a conditional probability? I'll write this as this. So it's nothing but probability of white intersection of G upon probability of G, right? Okay, let's first find out the probability of getting a green ball. Probability of getting a green ball. Okay, how can we find if a ball from the first box, red ball is chosen? Okay, how can we choose a red ball? In 8 upon 16, this is the probability of choosing a red ball from the first box. Then for getting a green ball, at least one green ball, we should choose the green ball from box 2. So there are 15 upon 42 ways. 48, right? 48 ways in which we can select green ball from box 2, right? So this is one way in which we can select at least one green ball. What is another way? If we select blue from first box, which is 3 by 16, then we need to take a green ball from the third box, right? So we need to take green ball, which is 12 by 16, right? Again, next. Okay, now if we choose green from box 1, our criteria is satisfied. We selected one. So we can take any balls from box 4, right? So if we take green from box 1, which is we can select in 5 by 16 ways. So we can take all, right? We can take a green ball again. We can take an orange ball. We can take a white ball, right? So what's the probability of over there of selecting any? It's 1, right? It's 1. We can choose any we can take it in one way, right? Okay, so if we just go and solve this, so 8 2s are 16, 3 5s are 15, 3 1s are 3, 3 6s are 18. So this is 5 upon 32 plus 2 6s are 12, 2 8s are 16, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8. So 3 3s are 9 upon 16, 4s are it is 64 plus 5 by 16, right? So 16 4s are LCM becomes 64. 32 2s are, right? So if we go and solve this, this is 10 plus 9 plus 5 4s are 20 upon 16 4s are 64. This is 39 upon 64, right? So P of at least G, at least one green ball, it is 39 upon 64. It is 39 upon 64. Now, probability of getting white, if green has been chosen. If green has been chosen, what is the probability of getting a white? From where I can get a white ball? If we choose a ball from box 4, right? So it is only one way possible, that green from the first ball, green ball from the first box, and white ball from the fourth box. So what's the probability of that thing? Green from the first, it's 5 by 16. 5 by 16 times white from the fourth, white, it's 6 balls are white, right? So which is 6 upon 32. So this is the way. 2 3s are 6, 16 2s are 32, right? 5 3s are 15 upon 16 ka square, it is 256, right? So the answer that we require is nothing but PW This PW is means this is not just PW. This is PW intersection with G, that we have chosen one, at least one green column, right? So intersection with G, this would be equals to what? So the answer, our answer becomes 15 upon 256 whole upon 39 upon 64. So if we go on solving this, 15 upon 256 into 64 upon 39, 64 fours are 3 fives are 15, 3 13s are. So this gives the answer as 5 upon 13 fours are 52. 52, right? So 5 upon 52 becomes the answer to this question, right? So almost all of you were correct. All of you were correct. This was the answer. Any doubts? I'm back at your screen. I was not able to see your chats. Okay. So I saw Devan saw that, sir, can tell me what is the difficulty of that question. Okay. So this was a medium question. The probability was the medium question. Calculating P of G at least once, perfect. Find the individual probability for cases and then apply conditional probability, perfect. Probability of both events happening together divided by probability of the given event, perfect. Yes, perfect. Great, great. Okay. Any of you guys, any questions to this question? We can move to the next question, right? Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect. Okay. Again, yeah, this is your question. This is your question. Try to solve this. Um, oh, okay. Now this is an LOD hard with number theory and probability mixed. So if you don't know one particular concept, you would not be able to solve this question. So yeah, now take 2 to 3 minutes. Try to solve this question. Are you able to, guys, getting like how should would we solve this question? Any methods on how would you solve this? No, no. Okay, okay, okay. Are you guys thinking like uh, what to do, how to do? Okay, okay. Chalo, let's solve this question then. Let me solve this for you. Okay, so again, what the question is saying, that consider the integer n, which is represented by something like this: 12 to the power 40, 5 to the power 30, and it is 12 to the power 40, 5 to the power 30. Okay, a positive integer k is chosen random from the set S. S is a set of numbers from 1 to 100. Okay, determine the probability that k is greater than the total number of digits in the integer representation of n. Okay. Oh my god. Perfect. Okay. So how would you find the total number of digits from of this number? Do you know anything regarding this? So what the question is asking, that if this number is having, let's say, 10 digits, right? So what is the probability? What is the probability that uh, that we choose a number k, right, which is greater than the total number of digits in the integer? Total number of digits, say, greater. So 90 upon 100, right? So yeah, and okay, but before that, we need to know how would we get the total number of digits. Saloni is saying log n. Log n. Are you missing something, Saloni? By logarithm. Perfect. Yes. So by logarithm, we will find the total number of digits. So for any integer, integer, for any integer n, total digits, it is equals to log base 10 n का floor function plus 1. So just giving you an example of 100. 100 contains 3 digits, right? So if we use the same formula over here, log base 10 100, this gives what? 2. 2 plus 1, it's 3, right? So 3 is the answer. So we can say that this is the correct formula, right? So in our case, so this was the number theory concept of that the total number of digits of a given integer, it's log base 10 n plus 1, right? So by the way, what is this floor function? So if we get something like 5.76, then it's 5. If we are getting 5.98, then also it's 5. This is not round off. This is the floor function, right? Okay. So going to our question again. So our number was 12 to the power 40, 5 to the power 30. So if I substitute this, log base 10, 12 to the power 40, 5 to the power 30 plus 1, right? Okay, so these are the total number of digits. Okay, now here comes the magic of logs, right? Probability, logs, and number theory, everything included over here. My mind-blowing question, right? So using the properties, multiplication can be split into addition. So this can be written as log base 10, 12 to the power 40 plus log base 10, 5 to the power 30. Powers can come out, right? Another property, powers can come out. So 40 times log base 10, 12 plus 30 times log base 10, 5, right? Okay. Now in the question, we are having the values of log base 10, 2 and log base 10, 3. But in our question, we are having 12 and 5, right? From somewhere, we have to convert this into what we say, uh, 2 and 3, right? So let's see, how can we do that? 40 times 12, can we write 12 as 2 times 2 times 3, or 4 3s are it's 12, right? This is the possible way we can write 12, right? Plus 30 times. How can we write 5? Can we write 5 as 10 by 2? Right? 10 by 2, it's also 5. Perfect. Again, now let's solve this. So this can be written as log base 10, 2 square times 3. Multiplication can be split into addition, log base 10, 3 plus 30 times. Division can be written as subtraction, log base 10, 10 minus log base 10, 2, right? So if we go on solving this, this gives us 2 times log base 10, 2 plus log base 10, 3 plus 30 times. This is 1, right? This is 1 minus log base 10, 2. The floor function of this, add this plus 1, and we get the total number of digits, right? We know the values. Now I'll use the calculator. In your exams also, you can use the calculators, right? So calculators are allowed in your scalar exams also. So if you are getting such a long calculator things, you can use your calculators. Log base 10 to it's 0.301 plus log base 10 3, it's 0.477 plus 30 times 1 minus log base 10 2. Log base 10 2 is 0.301. Okay. So the floor function of this, add 1. Okay. Now I'll use my calculator over here. I'll open my calculator. So 2 times 0.301, this gives 40 times 0.602 plus 0.477 plus 30 times. What does this give? 1 minus 0.301. This gives 0.699. Floor of this and add plus 1. Okay. If we go on solving this, so this is 40, 0.602 plus 0.477. This gives 1.079 plus 30 times 0.699, right? Floor of this, adding 1. Okay, now let's do this multiplication. 40 times 1.079, this gives 43.16 plus 30 times 0.699, this gives 20.97. Floor of this plus 1. So 20.97 plus 43.16, this gives 64.13. So floor of 64.13 plus 1. So this gives 64 plus 1. So 65. So total number of digits is what? 65. So there are 65 digits present in this number. There are 65 digits present in this number. Now, what is asked in the question? The probability that the k is greater than the total number of digits. The k is greater than the total number of digits, which means the digit should be either 66, 67, 68, 69. So how many digits are there? If the first is 66, last is 100, so how many digits are there over here? Which is 100 minus 65, which is 5, 9, 8, 7, 6, 35, right? So there are 35 digits, which are greater than the total digits. Hence, our answer would become 35 upon 100, which is equals to 0.35. This becomes the answer to this question. Everybody, everybody, I saw that everybody is getting this answer. Yes. Any doubts in this question? Any doubts? I am on your chats now. Any doubts in this questions? Any misconceptions? Anything? So again, the key takeaway from this question was the total number of digits. How can we find the total number of digits? Is by log base 10 plus 1, right? Okay. Let's move on to the next question then quickly. Yeah, this is the question. Take again 2 minutes, solve this. This is again, I hope, a log question. Yeah, try solving this. Try solving this. So by the way, this would be the, I think this would be the last question of the maths part. But yeah, we would then do the LR questions. Everybody is getting 5 as the answer. Perfect. Perfect. The value of the expression is equals to 5. Okay. 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 So guys, change base and expand expression and at last substitute values. Perfect. So this is the thing which I would like you guys to tell. Perfect. So that is the thing. Okay. See, what's the question is? The question is n, it is given as 100 factorial. Perfect. Then we need to find the value of this. What is this? This is sigma k is equals to 2 till 100. Oh, I missed one PPT. So, oh, what's happening? So sorry, guys. Just a second. Let me erase this. From where this is coming? Okay, it's not getting erased. Fine, no worries. Let me select a pen. Huh. This is irritating. Bro, go. Bro, go. It's not getting. Okay, no worries. Let's from k is equals to 2 to k is equals to 100, 5 upon log base k n, and it is given that n is equals to 100 factor. Okay, so we are given k is equals to 12 to 200, 5 upon log base k 100 factorial. We need to solve this. So if we just remove the summation and do a real summation, so it would be 5 upon log base k, k we take as 200 factorial, plus 5 upon log base 300 factorial, plus 5 upon log base 400 factorial, go on up to 5 upon log base 100 factorial, right? Okay, now how to solve this? How to solve this? I can see that first thing though which comes to my mind is taking 5 common, right? Taking 5 common. So everything would become log base 200 factorial plus 1 upon log base 300 factorial plus dot 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 plus 1 upon log base 100 factorial. Okay. Now the next thing which comes in my mind is to change the base to something which is common. Right now, for each term, the base is different, right? So let me switch it to any number, right? So what should we select? We can do it as, we can convert each as each to log base 2, or we should do something else. I think I think let's change the base to log base 100 factorial, right? So again, using the change of base property, if we want to change the base of a to c, it would become log base cb upon log base ca, right? So using this property over here, in our case, it would be 5 times 1 upon log base 100 factorial upon log base 100 factorial times 2 plus 1 upon log base 100 factorial whole upon log base 100 factorial times 3 plus dot 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 plus 1 upon log base 100 factorial upon log base 100 factorial 100, right? So sorry for this messy thing, but okay. So if we solve this, this becomes 5 times 1 upon log base 100 factorial 2 plus 1 upon log base 100 factorial 3, right? 100 factorial log base 100 factorial, it's 1. So plus dot 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 plus 1 upon log base 100 factorial 100, right? So if we go on solving this, this would become something like log base 100 factorial 2 plus log base 100 factorial 3 plus dot 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 plus log base 100 factorial 100, right? Addition can be changed into multiplication. Addition can be changed into multiplication, right? Log base 100 factorial 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, up to times 100. Now, can you see clearly this is what? 100 factorial. This becomes 1. So our answer becomes what? 5. 5 becomes the answer to this question. Very simple, right? Very simple. So 5 became the answer. Any doubts? Any doubts? So the thing which you need to which you need to see is that you don't have to do any silly mistakes, right? Solve the questions properly, give complete focus on the question which you are solving, and then go ahead. Perfect. Yeah. Any doubts till now? Till now, any doubts? Like we would be moving now mostly to the LR part. Yeah. Now we would moving to the LR part. Any doubts in the math section before we move to LR? No doubts. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay. So this, so sorry. So this is your first question of LR. Try to get me the pattern. Try to get me the pattern. 700, 600, 1000, 2700, 10,400. What pattern it is following? What would be the next term? 51500, 4110, multiply and subtract. What should we multiply and what should we subtract, Tarlo? 51500. Okay. Okay. Chalo. So finding the pattern is the most important thing in this series questions, right? So it's 700, then it's 600, then it's 1000, then it's 2700, then it's 10,000. So first it's decreasing, then it's increasing. So there is some pattern. So if you look closely, the next term for any, it is equals to the current term times the rank minus 100 times rank. Let me explain you what is this pattern. What is this pattern? So let's say the current term it's 100. The rank of 100 is what? 1 minus 100 times rank of it's what? It's 1. So this is what? 700 minus 100. So 600. So 600 was the next term, right? Yes. Now checking it further. The current term is 600. 600 current gets 2 minus 100 times 2. This is what? 1200 minus 200. This gives 1000. So was 1000 the next term? Yes. So similarly, if we use the same pattern, 10400 times what's the rank of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 5 minus 100 times 5. So this is what? 5 zeros are 0. 5 zeros are 0. 5 fours are 20. 5 zeros are 0. It's 2. 5 ones are 5 minus 500. So this gives us as 51500 as the answer. 51500 becomes the answer to this question. I hope all of you guys are clear. The pattern, you got the pattern. So in this type of questions, what you have to find is the pattern, right? The pattern can be anything. How did you identify the pattern, right? So Mohammed, so there is not any certain formula or a case through which you find the pattern. It's just so if you solve more and more questions, you will find more and more different patterns, and you would find out this pattern, right? Pattern can be anything. So there is no any generic thing which you can use to find the answer, right? So yeah, so just by simple observation and the questions that you solve, you can solve this. You can find this pattern, right? Okay, let's move on to the next question. This, okay, fantastic question. This is a great question. Take 2 to 3 minutes for this question. Try to solve this. A very much most expected question this is for your NSET exam tomorrow. Try to solve this question, guys. Are you guys solving? Like, anybody interested on explaining this question? Anybody? They can raise their hands. I can unmute you. so that you can ask anything. Uh, can you raise your hand if you want to speak so that I can unmute you guys if you want. Otherwise, okay, we'll solve this question. Is there any different way of raising the hand? Vignesh. Okay. So, Bhoop Mangalam is saying that I should solve. So, so sorry. Yeah, means Bhupal, Bhupalam Gautam. Okay. So sorry. Like, I'll tell you, I'll pronounce your name as Bhupalam. Okay. Okay. So sorry for the wrong pronunciation. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Chalo. Let me solve this only. Let me only solve. Yeah. So this is a great question. This is a very good question which would test your speed distance time. So again, if I want to tell you the LOD of this question, this is a hard question. As this involves different steps, this involves a good calculation. So yeah, this is a hard question. So, so let's read this question. So it is said that there are three companions A, B, and C who set out to travel from point X to point Y, which are 100 kilometers apart. Okay. So point X to point Y, 100 kilometers apart. There are three people A, B, and C. Right. A is traveling on a two-wheeler throughout the journey. Okay. A is on a two-wheeler. B initially proceeds as a passenger with A, then proceeds on foot. C proceeds on foot from X. Okay. So B is on A for some part of travel, and C is on foot. Okay, perfect. A drops B at point M, which lies exactly halfway between X and Y. Okay, so this is point X, this is point Y. Let's say this is point, it's M, right? Point M, which is halfway. So 50 kilometers, right? 50 kilometers. So first, A and B were traveling together. When A and B reached M, C might have traveled some distance. Okay, that's okay, but okay. So when A and B reached M, A drops B. So from here, B is not on a two-wheeler. Okay. A drops B at point M, which lies exactly at the halfway between X and Y, and then immediately turns back. Okay. Then A, after reaching point M, immediately turns back towards C. While returning, A meets C on the road, takes him along, and finally drops him at point Y. Okay, so let's say this is the place. This is the place MN where A and C met together. Then they traveled together till they reached point Y. Okay, so this is the complete scenario. Understood? Meanwhile, after being dropped at M, B walks the remaining distance. Okay, B walked the remaining distance to Y. The most important thing, the speeds of A, B, and C are in the ratio of 5:2:2. Okay. So can we say that speed of A, it is 5x, speed of B, it is 2x, speed of C, it is also 2x, right? Can we clearly write this? Yes. At what moment when the first person reaches point Y, at what moment when the first person reaches point Y, how far away from Y is the last person? Okay, so when the first person reaches point Y, how far is the last person from the Y? Perfect, understood, understood. Okay, fine, great question. So first step. So A and B travels 50 kilometers together, right? So we know this formula, speed is equals to distance upon time. We know the speed is what, 5x of both. On a two-wheeler, they are traveling with A. Distance they covered is 50. Time we don't know. So time which equals to 50 upon 5x, which is equals to 10 upon x, right? So in this time, in this 10 upon x seconds, C would have also traveled some distance, right? So distance is equals to speed into time. Walking, speed is what? Of C, it's 2x. Time, it's 10 by x. So this is what? 20. So, so, so now the scenario becomes, this is point X, this is point Y, This is point M. A and B are over here. C is over here. This is 20 kilometers. This is 30 kilometers, right? So this is the scenario, right? Now A travels in this direction towards C. C travels towards A, right? Now here comes the relative speed relative speed concept, right? Physics, you remember? So relative speed of A with respect to C is what? V of A minus V of C, right? What is V of A? It is, if we consider right side as positive. Oh, so sorry. So sorry. Let me go back to our resume the slide. So sorry. So if we consider where it is, if we consider right side as what it's a resume. Okay. Right as positive and left as negative, right? Okay. So if that is the case, then we can clearly say that V of C, it is what? V of A minus V of C. V of 8 is 5x, right? V of 8 is 5x minus V of C. If right is negative, so this is negative of 5x. V of C, it is 2x. So this is what? Negative of 7x, right? Negative of 7x. Now see, this negation sign is just because because of the direction. So we can negate this negative sign. So we can say that the relative speed is what? 7x, right? Okay. So C and A is traveling towards them. The distance between them is 30, right? So when would they meet? When would they meet? Distance is between them, it's 30 kilometers. So time before they would be meet is what? Time, speed is equals to distance upon time. Speed is equals to distance upon time. Therefore, time is equals to distance upon speed. So distance is what? 30. Speed is what? 7x, right? So they would meet each other after 30 upon 30 upon 7x time, right? Understood, everybody? Like what we are doing. So after 30 upon 7x time, they would A and C would meet together, right? How much distance has A traveled till then? How much distance has A traveled in 30 upon, oh, okay. How much distance has A traveled in 30 upon 7x time? Let's say distance is equals to speed into time. Distance is equals to speed of A is what? 5x. Time is what? 30 upon 7x. So this becomes 5 3 is 150 upon 7. So this much kilometers A has traveled from. So now finally, just a second, let me add more slides. Let me add more slides over here. Control C, Control V, right? So slideshow from the current slide. Right. Okay. Let me remove all the stuff. Why there is no erasure? Command Z, Command Z. Okay. Command C, Command V. Okay. From current slide. Okay. Coming back. So current scenario now. Current scenario. Right. So this is point X. This is point Y. This is point M. And this is the point N, where right now A and C are together. This much distance, it is 150 upon 7 kilometers. B would be somewhere over here, right? B would be somewhere over here, because after dropping B at point M, B started walking, right? So right now we need to find this distance also. What would be this distance? Speed is equals to distance upon time. Distance is equals to speed into time. Speed of B is what? 2x. Time. In how much time did A and C met? It is 30 upon 7x. So this would be also 30 upon 7x, right? So this is what? 60 upon 7. So this distance is 60 upon 7, right? So if we say right now A is at, so this was how much? So A is at how much kilometers? 50, right? This total XM it's 50, NM it is 150 by 7. So it is A has traveled 350 minus 150 upon 7, which is 200 by 7 kilometers. This is from X. From X. B is at 60 by 7 kilometers ahead of 50. 60 by 7. 7 this is what? 350 plus 60 by 7. So this is what? 410 by 7. And is C right now. C right now is also at 200 by 7 along with A. All of them is from X. From X. Right? Now A and C travels together. For how many kilometers? For how many kilometers? How much distance is left? 100 minus 200 by 7, right? So this is what? 500 by 7 kilometers are left for them to travel. So in how much time would they reach? Why? Time is equal to distance upon speed. Distance is 500 upon 7. Speed is how much? 5x, right? So this is 100. So this is 100 upon 7x. So in this much time, in 100 upon 7x time, A and C reaches Y. So in this much time, how much distance would have B traveled? Distance is equals to speed into time. Speed is what? 2x. Time is what? 100 upon 7x. So this is what? 200 upon 7. So he was at which position? He was at 410 by 7. 410 by 7 plus 200 by 7. This gives 610 by 7 kilometers, right? So B would have traveled this much. A and C are at Y. B is over here, right? So A and C have reached together, right? So where is the last person? Who is the last person? It's B. And how far is he from Y? That is the thing that we need to find out, right? We know this. This is the distance he is from X. We need to find from Y. So it is nothing but 100 minus 610 by 7. It is nothing but 90 by 7. If we use the calculator to find what is 90 by 7, let me use the calculator. 90 by 7. It is 12.857. It is 12.857. Rounding off to 2 decimal places. It is 12.86, and this becomes the answer to this question. 12.86 becomes the answer. I know this was a lengthy question. Oh, guys, were you able to see the screen? Now I am on your chats. You got everything right? Yeah. I know that this was a lengthy question. I completely understand, but you should be focused. You should what we say, break the question into parts. You should never miss anything. Right? You should break the questions into bits and pieces, solve each bits and pieces with full focus, so you don't do any silly mistakes, right? If you don't do any silly mistakes, do it properly, you would get the answer 100%, right? So this was a very fantastic question. It was a lengthy question, but it was a very great question, right? Till now, any doubts? Any doubts, guys? Now we would be solving the last question of today's session, and then we would go on to have a 10 minutes break. I summarize the steps, right? Yeah, I can. Just a second. So let me summarize this question. So first of all, we understood what the question was saying. The question was saying that there were 3 persons who were traveling from point X to point Y, who were at a distance of 100 kilometers. A was traveling on a two-wheeler. B was traveling on two-wheeler along with A till they reach the half point. C was on foot, right? So the first step, we knew the speeds of each of them. A was 5x, B and C was 2x, right? So the first step which we did was that we find out the time which took A and B to reach the middle point. Time we use the formula speed is equals to distance upon time. Time is equals to distance upon speed. So we found out that time was 10x. 10 by x, right? So in this time, C would have traveled some distance, right? C would have traveled some distance. Distance is equal to speed into time. Speed of C was 2x. Time was 10 by x. So C traveled 20 kilometers. So A and B are at 50 kilometers mark and C is at 20 kilometers mark, right? Now what happened? Now what happened? A left B. B started walking towards Y, but A started towards C, right? A started towards C. C is towards A, right? So now we need the time in which A and C meet together. For this, we need to find the relative speed, right? Because A and C are traveling in opposite directions. We found that the relative speed was 7x. Relative speed was 7x, and the distance between A and C was 30, right? 20, 30, right? This I hope X and M was 50. X and C traveled 20 kilometers. So the distance between C and A was 30 kilometers. So we know the relative speed is 7x. We know the distance between them was 30. So can we find out the time in which they meet together? Using the formula, time is equals to distance upon speed. Distance is 30. Speed was 7x. So the time in which both of them met was 30 upon 7x, right? So in this time, A might have traveled some distance, right? From M, it would be what? 5 speed into time. Speed is 5x. Time is 30 upon 7x. So which is 150 upon 7. 150 upon 7, right? From M. So this would be the same. Uh, so can we also say that B would also have traveled some distance after reaching to point when A reached A and C became together? Distance is equals to speed into time. Speed was what? 2x of B. Time. Time taken by A and C to reach together was 30 by 7x. So B traveled 60 by 7 kilometers then. So now from X, can we find where each of them was, right? We can say that A was at this position, 50 minus 150 upon 7, which gave 200 by 7. B was at 50 plus 60 upon 7, which is this 410 by 7. And C was that 200 by 7 from X, right? Now, A and C started traveling together. B is walking. A and C, the distance between A and the point Y was how much? 100 minus 200 by 7, which is 500 by 7. So time taken by A and C to reach Y, time is equals to distance upon speed. Distance was how much? 500 by 7. Speed was 5x, right? So it became 100 by 7x, 100 by 7x, right? So time taken by A and C to reach Y was 100 by 7x, right? So in 100 by 7x time, they reached Y. So in how much distance would B travel in this 100 by 7x? So distance is equals to speed into time. Speed is equals to 2x into 100 by 7x. This gives 200 by 7. So this much distance would B travel. Where B was? B was at 410 by 7th mark. So he traveled 200 by 7 more distance. So he is right now at 610 by 7th mark. And A and C are at Y, right? So who is the last person? Last person is B. And how far is he from Y? It is 100 by 610 by 7, which is 90 by 7, which is nothing but 12.86. I hope you are clear, Mohammed. Great. Okay. Okay. Let's move to the last question of today's session. So this is the question. Take 2 minutes. Try to solve this. Are you guys able to solve this question, guys? Any answers, any things which you should follow? Okay, you are solving. Okay, I'll wait for 1 more minute. ₹720 is the answer. Okay, 720. We got one. Shubham got the answer as 720. Okay, okay. Okay, let me solve this question. So what does this question says? Let me read it. A supermarket has two batches of goods, each priced at 3-digit amount. Okay, so there is some good X, and it is priced in two ways. And both of them is a 3-digit price, right? Both of them is a 3-digit price. Let's suppose that this is X, this is Y. Okay, whatsoever. When the value of the more expensive batch is divided by the more cheaper one, the quotient is 6 with no remainder. Let's assume X is cheaper, Y is expensive. So we can say that Y upon X is 6, right? This is given from the question. Okay. It is also observed that the combined value of both the batches is a multiple of 504. Combined value is a multiple of 504, which means if we divide the combined value with 504, we get 0 as the remainder. Or we can also say that X plus Y is nothing but we can represent it as 504 times K. Yes, perfect. Okay. One more thing which we knew was that the one more thing that we knew was that X and Y both are 3-digit number. Perfect. So X should always be greater than 100 and X would be less than 999. Yep. X would be, yeah. Similarly for Y also it's the same case. Y would also be this. From this equation, can we get that Y is equals to 6x? Y is equals to 6x. If we substitute over here, that 6x should be less than or equals to 999. So X should be less than or equals to 999 by 6. So if we just use the calculator, 999 by 6, it is 166.5. Just for an integer. So we can say that X should be less than or equals to 166.5 and X should be greater than 100, right? Okay. Now we just use the trial and error method that X plus Y is 504K. Y is 6X. So 7X is equals to 504K, right? So X is equals to 504K by 7. Perfect. K is any number. K is any integer, right? Let's assume K is equals to 1. K is equals to 1. So X is equals to 504 times 1 upon 7. What is 504 by 7? It is 72. Can X be 72? Is X as 72 possible? No, right? X is a three-digit number. So X is 72 is not possible. So K as 1 is not giving us the answer. So let's go on to K as 2, right? K as 2, 504 times 2 upon 7, right? 504 times 2 upon 7, this gives 144. Is X is equals to 144 possible? Yes, X is equals to 144 is possible, right? We just found that X would be between 100 and 166.5, right? So 144 is a possible. Let's see that is for K is equals to 3. For K is equals to 3, what we would find? 504 times 3 upon 7. This gives 216. 216. Is 216 possible for X? No, right? 216 is not possible. So the only possible value of X is what? 144. If x is 144, if x is 144, then what would be y? Y would be 6x, which is 6 times 144, which is equals to what? 6 times 144. This gives 864, right? 864. So what is asked in the question? What is asked in the question? What is the difference between the value of two batches? They have asked the difference between x and y. Very perfect. So they have asked 864 minus 144. This gives 720, and 720 becomes the answer to this question. Any doubts, guys? Any doubts? So this was the last question. This was the last question. Any doubts till now, guys? Anything? Any doubts in any topic? Anything? So here we would conclude the boot camp. Now, if you guys want a break, we can take a break of 5 minutes. We will take a break of 5 minutes. We have the head of admissions from Scalar team. Ashish sir is there. He would be here to solve any of your doubts. He would help you guys on your interviews part, right? He would help you guys on the interviews part. But yeah, let's take a break of 5 minutes. Then we would proceed with the QA session with Ashish sir, right? So we would meet again at 7:39. Is it okay if my answer in 1 second, one sentence, by using batch values and difference? Um, Shubham, like in your interviews, you might need to explain the complete steps, right? So the steps which you did. So you need to explain it in detail. In exam, see, in your NSET exam, they just need your answer. But in your interviews, they might ask for the explanation that how did you got the answer, right? Okay, so let's take a 5 minute break. Then we would continue.
All right. Hi everyone. Am I audible and visible? Quick thumbs up on the chat would help. Awesome. Thank you. All right, let's get started. I know it's been a long session. Firstly, thanks Hemkesh for uh, giving clarity on how to tackle the NSET examination. My name is Ashish. I'm the head of admissions at Scalar School of Technology. Over the next 20 minutes, Hemkesh and I are going to do two things, right? One, we will shed some light on how what happens after your NSET and how do you prepare for interviews, what are the kinds of questions that are asked. And I already see a lot of questions coming on the Q&A tab here. So we'll answer those questions. And in general, any questions that you have about Scalar School of Technology with respect to how things work here, how does the campus life look like, anything that you are curious to know about Scalar School of Technology, we will take those questions as well, right? So let's get started with the personal interview round, right? So I'm just going to share my screen and give you all some clarity step by step, just to do a recap on what the process looks like. Just give me a second. Yes. Right. So on the admission process, of course, there are two ways for you to qualify, right? The first way is that you write the NSET examination. This is what you all were interacting for with Hemkesh for the last hour and a half. However, there are certain conditions under which you are exempt from writing the NSET exam. What are those conditions? If you have scored 92 percentile in your JEE mains exam, or within JEE mains, maybe you didn't score 92 percentile, but you scored a 95 percentile in maths or physics, then you are exempt from writing the NSET exam. Similarly, apart from JEE mains, the other entrance exam that is looked at is the SAT. So if you score 1430 and above in SATs, then you are exempt from writing the NSET exam, right? Now, what does this mean? It means that you are going to directly appear for your first round of interviews, right? You are not going to write the NSET exam. You will appear for your first round of interviews. You will have to give both the interviews, right? Now, answering the first question, कि preparation क्या करनी होती है मुझे interview के लिए, right? So we'll start from what are the topics that are typically covered in the NSET examination, in the personal interviews, right? So if you go to the admission process tab on our website, you will see that at the bottom there is this NSET guide. Just give me a second. Yeah. So you'll see the NSET guide. I'm dropping the link to this in the chat box in case you want to refer to it later. Here is the link. But when you open this guide, of course, you'll see a lot of topics that are mentioned in general for the NSET. But within mathematics, these are the same topics that are covered under the personal interview as well, right? Number theory, exponentials, probability, PNC, ratio and proportion, sets, right? So these are the same topics that are covered, that the questions will be based on during your personal interviews. What we recommend is that you use a book like Arun Sharma for preparation for mathematics for the NSET exam, right? So this is what the curriculum looks like. Now let's move on to what does the process of interviewing specifically look like, right? Now there are two rounds that will happen. What are those two rounds? The first round is an AI interview, right? Again, I'm going to share something on my screen so that you'll have more clarity on this. Just give me a second. Right. So is my screen visible? If Hemkesh, you can quickly let me know. Awesome. All right. So I am dropping the link to this again on the chat box. This is a video that we've posted on YouTube in terms of how to prepare for your personal interviews, right? So in your personal interviews, your first round is an AI interview, right? Now, what does the AI interview mean? It means that you will have You will interact with Anshuman Singh's avatar, and it will be an interactive experience where you will first be asked to introduce yourself, right? So very important that you spend 1 minute clearly introducing yourself, right? How would you introduce yourself? Say out your name loud and clear. Be slow, pace yourself very clearly. Tell the interviewer where you come from, right? What have you done in terms of academics? What do you like to do outside academics, right? So a brief 1 minute introduction, very clear, will add a lot of value to the outcome of your interview, right? Now, once this is done, I'll maybe just quickly. Is the audio good, Himkesh? Quick thumbs up would help. All
So the
right.
video's audio is not coming. Like you are audible.
Now,
I don't think so. Video's voice is not coming.
so only the video is running, is it?
Only the videos.
Acha, just give me a second. Sorry, let me just try resharing again. Let me know if it still doesn't work. Otherwise, I will again just drop. Not happening, right? All right, no problem. Okay, I maybe won't do that now. But just for clarity, uh, the first thing that will be asked to you is for you to introduce yourself, right? Take a good 1 minute before you come for the interview. Stand in front of a mirror and introduce yourself, right? What are the things that you will cover under your introduction? One, your name, your full name, where you come from, which college have you studied in the most recently, and anything that will give the interviewer an idea about who you are as a person, your likes, interests, your hobbies, and stuff like that, right? Once that is done, there will be 1 to 2 questions on mathematics that will be asked to you, right? So the question will be displayed to you on your screen, and I'm just going to share my screen without the audio to give you a sense of how it would look like, right? Please spend some time going through this video. I've already dropped the link on the chat box. This is going to give you a lot of clarity on what to expect, right? So just give me a second. So you'll see that the question is displayed on the screen here, right? The question is very clearly asked. Okay, a man has some 5 rupee and 10 rupee notes totaling 300 rupees. If he has 40 notes in total, how many 10 rupee notes does he have, right? So I heard someone, I saw someone asking a question. Can I answer in a single line, right? Uh, I would recommend that you don't, right? Of course, if your answer is correct, great. But what is evaluated in all of these interviews is how do you break a problem and explain what your approach is step by step, right? So take some time, interact with the avatar, explain your approach very clearly, right? And then arrive at the final answer. If you want to write something down on a piece of paper to solve it, it makes your life much more easier, right? So the AI interview will be roughly for about 20-25 minutes, right? 1 to 2 questions on math. Now there comes a question sometimes that people ask, sir, what if I give the answer incorrectly? What happens then, right? Do not worry, right? You will be asked another question, right? So like I mentioned, just ensure that you're explaining your thought process as much as you can. Sometimes it might happen that, okay, I've not given the correct answer entirely, but I've explained my thought process very well, right? And that will also have a lot of value to the final outcome of the first round. The first round of interview, of course, is slightly easier in terms of the level of difficulty of questions that are asked, right? Now, does this mean that, okay, everybody will clear the first round? It does not. Typically, I have seen in the past that at least 30-35% of students do not make it past the first round. So spend ample amount of time preparing for your first round of interview. For a lot of students here, I know that you'll have never given any interviews in the past, right? So it might feel a little uncomfortable, which is why I mentioned it really helps if you stand in front of a mirror and simply practice how to introduce yourself, how to answer a certain question that is asked, right? So please do that. So that's how your first round will be, right? Now, typically, what happens is after your NSET examination is done, let's say tomorrow is the NSET exam on Sunday, your results are typically announced a day later, that is on Tuesday, right? Once your results are announced, if you have cleared the NSET examination, at that point, you will be auto allocated one slot for your interview, right? You have to visit your dashboard, look at which slot has been allocated to you for the interview, and you have to give the examination, the personal interview round one in that slot. In case you are not available for reasons beyond your control, there is an option for you to reschedule this particular examination to a slot on the same day or on the next day, right? But these dates are very clearly defined. So please ensure that you are staying away from any external commitments to make sure that you are able to attend the interviews without any trouble, right? All the interviews have to be given in a proctored environment, meaning that you should take it on a laptop with a functioning webcam and ensure that your surroundings are free from noise, disturbances. Make sure nobody enters the room, right? There is no disturbance in the background in terms of audio, right? Because it's a proctored software. It might show you warnings, even though maybe somebody in your family just entered the room by mistake, right? So please make sure आप घर पे बता रहे हो कि मैं एक important examination दे रहा हूँ, आप मुझे next 30 minutes तक disturb मत कीजिए, इस room में मत आइए, because the software flags all of this, right? And once it is flagged, if there is a result which is beyond your control, then there's not a lot we can do at that point, right? So please be aware of all of this. Make sure that you have a fully functioning laptop with webcam and a decent internet connection as well. If you do not have a laptop or something is wrong with your laptop, please make sure you either go to a cyber cafe or borrow a laptop from someone you know so you can take this interview without any hassles. This does not work on a mobile phone whatsoever. So please do not try attempting it from your mobile phones. It will only waste your attempt, right? So this is what the first round is about. I think I've covered on how many questions are asked, what is the duration, what is the level of difficulty, and what is who is taking the interview, right? Now, if you clear your first round of interview, then you are moved to the second round of interview, right? Now, the second round of interview, similar to the first round of interview, you will have an auto-allocated slot, right? Now, what is the difference between the first and the second round, right? Of course, again, you are going to be tested on math, right? We are still going to test you on how you break a problem, explain your approach, and arrive at the final answer, right? We will still ask you to introduce yourself. But the level of difficulty of questions will be slightly higher here, right? Again, there will be 1 to 2 questions asked in math. Level of difficulty will increase in this particular section. And again, I'm just going to move a little forward on the earlier video that I was showing. Just give me a second. So you see that, for example, this interview is not taken by an AI avatar, right? This is taken by an actual Scalar mentor, a Scalar alumni who is working in tech themselves today, right? So for example, the person you see on screen, his name is Mr. Anil. He is a data scientist at Fractal, right? And he will ask you questions on math where you will have to discuss your answers with him, explain what your thought process is, and arrive at the right answer, right? So for example, the question will be displayed on your screen that, okay, for example, find the remainder when 5 raised to 123 is divided by 12, right? At this point, pick up your pen, take your paper, write your answer down and start explaining your approach, right? So like I mentioned, the level of difficulty here starts increasing. So this interview should roughly be for about 30 to 45 minutes. Given it's a human interview, there will be a lot of conversation and discussion around how you're answering things, right? So I've given a lot of clarity on how these things work from say an outsider's lens. But given Hemkesh, you've attended a human interview yourself. Would love for you to share any best practices, anything that you feel that students should be mindful about, any common mistakes that you've seen students do. So maybe just take a quick couple of minutes and share that with students.
Yeah, sure. So, starting off with the common mistakes, what I have seen, like most of the students do is they try to solve the answers, and they just finally give us the answer. That answer is 12 or whatsoever with answer. So this is the thing that you should avoid, right? You should always speak out loud what you are thinking. So by if in any case if you are going into the wrong direction, basically in the human interview, the interviewer might help you that, hey, you are going in the right, but this step, just can you see that you are doing wrong? So here the interviewer might help you that you are going into the wrong direction, so that you can fix yourselves, right? So this is the one important thing that you should take care of while giving the interview. Apart from that, the introduction, it creates the most important role for your interview. Uh, Everything which you mention in your introduction means you should know everything about it. For example, if you have created any tech projects, then the interviewer might ask you some questions regarding it, right? If you in the like introduction, if you mention that I have studied Python in my class 12th, it might be the case that the interviewer would ask something related to Python in the interview, right? So so I'm saying that the introduction makes a very important role in your interview. Apart from that, you should be confident, and you should be honest, right? Just don't speak anything. Like means you should be on point to all the answers that you are giving. Yeah, means this is the thing.
All right. Thanks a lot, Hemkesh. I hope that these experiences coming from somebody who's cleared the entrance exam himself will give like first-hand experiences, right? So, just summarizing what we've spoken over the last 20 minutes or so, there is the NSET exam. You are exempt from writing the NSET exam in case you either meet the JEE fast track criteria, which is 92 percentile overall in JEE mains, or 95 percentile plus in JEE physics or math, or you have scored a 1430 and above in your SATs. In that case, you are exempt from writing the NSET. If you clear the NSET, you are required to appear for your first round of interview, which is an AI-led interview, in which you will be asked questions related to number theory, Venn diagrams, permutations, and combinations. The questions are of easy to medium level of difficulty. You need to take both your interviews in a proctored environment on your laptop with a stable internet connection with a working webcam. The AI interview will last for about 20-25 minutes. You will be asked 1 to 2 questions. Across both your interviews, ensure that you are breaking down every problem or question that is asked to you in the most simplest manner and explaining your approach. Even if your final answer might be wrong, there is still weightage given to you explaining your approach in the right manner. 35% of students are filtered out from the first round of interview. So very important to take this very seriously. In your second round of interview, the structure remains the same. The level of difficulty increases. The level of difficulty is medium to hard. You are again asked a couple of questions on math. This round is taken by somebody who's a Scalar mentor or a Scalar alumni who is currently working in tech themselves. This would go on for roughly about 30 to 40 minutes, right? So once this is done, people who clear the interview rounds will get an offer to join Scalar School of Technology, right? So I hope this gives clarity on the overall, say, process right from NSET until interviews. The entire process from NSET till the interviews should be done in roughly about a week's time, right? About 7 to 8 days of time is what it typically takes. On the 9th or 10th day, you receive your results and your offer letter if you've done everything well, right? So with that, we are coming to the end of the NSET and the interview structure and how to attempt it. Over the next 5-10 minutes, I'm going to take a few questions that I see already asked on the Q&A tab here. If there are certain questions that you want us to specifically answer, you put it on the chat box. If there are enough number of upvotes, is when Hemkesh and I will specifically answer those questions, right? All right. So I see one question which has been asked by Dharnish. Uh, After these many rounds of exams, realistically, how many seats are available and how many percent of those who write tomorrow's exam will be promoted to the interview stage? And for the exams that are over, what was the average cutoff that guaranteed an interview call? All right. So I'll take the latter part of the question first. See, there is no fixed cutoff, right? The cutoff sometimes is 30, sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's 55. It's gone as high as 60 as well, right? What defines a cutoff is the level of difficulty of the question paper and how many people are in general attempting that entrance exam on that day, right? So the cutoff will vary. So you will have to give it your best shot. You cannot come in with the mindset that, okay, I will try to score at least 50 marks, right? Come in with the mindset that, okay, I will give it my best shot. There is no negative marking, right? You can score, your mindset should be to score 100 on 100. Hopefully then that will land you at maybe a 70, 80, which will not impact you if the cutoff moves a little high or low, right? So that's the first part. Now, how many seats are available? How many percentage of students who write tomorrow's exam will be promoted? See, the way we operate is a little different. We don't try to fill n number of seats, right? For us, there's a benchmark in terms of what should the student's performance be like. So let's say, for example, in tomorrow's NSET, typically, let's say that maybe I feel that, okay, there are my benchmark for scoring is, let's say, 50%, right? Now, if tomorrow there are 100 students writing the entrance exam and maybe there are only 10 students achieving the 50% benchmark, then there will be only 10 students who move forward, right? But if there are maybe 80 students who are achieving that 50% benchmark, for example, and again, just calling it out, the 50% benchmark is just an arbitrary number, not an exact number. But I'm just giving an example that if we have set a benchmark of performance, as many students who meet that benchmark will be moved forward. That number can be high, that number can be low, that doesn't matter. What matters to us is that every student is meeting that bare minimum benchmark that we've set for ourselves. So this, I think we've answered. What is the cutoff of the exam? We've already taken this. How to clear AI interview? We've done this. How to crack interview? We've done this. Okay, I have experience with AI interviews but was rejected. Could you please tell me what AI truly needs? Does it prioritize a student's confidence or their ability to answer its questions? Of course, if you give the right answer and explain your approach to giving the right answer, then nothing like it, right? Does that mean that, okay, you will make it to the next round? Very likely, yes. Unless maybe the competition is insanely high. Everybody has done extremely well and met that certain benchmark that has been set. And maybe you're falling behind because maybe you didn't arrive at the right answer, but you gave the right approach, right? So it's very subjective in nature. So there's no one fixed answer. The highest priority would be given to a person who is eventually explaining everything and coming to the right answer, right? So that's how it is. What kind of questions are asked in the interview? I think we've already answered this. Which course, BTech AI and business provides better packages? So, I mean, see, your decision to choose a certain program should never be based on what packages you get, right? And just to simply answer your question, I think whether you do the CS and AI program or whether you do the AI and business program, at the end of 4 years, you will graduate as a computer science engineer, right? Both our students from these programs will work in the same product company, but they will be a different kind of engineer, right? Somebody who's graduating from the CS and AI program will probably do engineering roles which are related to building scalable systems, right? For example, somebody who is working as a software engineer at Swiggy Their job role will be to ensure that the Swiggy app works fine concurrently for 1 million users across India. There are 1 million notifications that are being triggered at a certain point. There are 1 million drivers ready to accept orders and so on, right? But let's say there's an AI business graduate who's working at Swiggy as an engineer. He might work as a growth engineer who might use technology and computer science concepts to solve business problems, right? Okay, the revenue of Swiggy from a certain area dropped on a certain day. What are those interventions that I can design to bring the revenue back up using concepts of computer science? That is what an AI and business graduate would do. So both the programs are tech first programs. In both the programs, technical depth is comparable. In the AI and business program, you get additional exposure to certain business concepts, which will help you solve real business problems when you work at these companies. The graduates from both these programs will work at the same company in different computer science engineering roles, and hence packages will also be comparable. The choice of choosing which program you should opt for, which program you want to study for the next 4 years, should be based on your level of interest, right? Should not be based on which program is offering better packages, not offering better packages. So that's how I would recommend that you do this. All right, so I think clear interview guidelines of the exam. I think we've covered most of this. I'm just taking a quick look at the chat box if there are any other questions. Okay, so Shubham asks, what is the process of scholarships? So when you are registering for the NSET exam, right, there is a comprehensive profiling form that you need to fill out with all your achievements, right? It includes how have you performed in your grade 10th, how have you performed in your grade 12th, what entrance examinations have you written and scored, what are your scores in those entrance examinations, could be JEE, BITSAT, SATs, any other exams that you have attempted, any international level Olympiads that you have participated in and you have won, then any tech projects that you've built, right? You've been building tech projects which people have been using, which is solving a real problem. So you mention all of this on your comprehensive profiling form in detail, and before your offer is released, our team typically goes through your profile and sees if there is a chance for you to get a scholarship, right? So please make sure that you're filling out this profiling form to the fullest with all the details that you have, right? Is it worth to pay 27-28 lakh rupees approx, or if we take decent college and do online skills, it will go around 12 to 14 lakhs. Which one is better? Maybe Hinkesh, do you want to take this question?
Yeah, so 2 to 3 points on this to the answer. Like first thing you mentioned that online courses you would do. See, first thing, if you're doing online, it's doing all on your own, right? So there is a resistance. This creates a resistance. You would not sit together for 2 hours long to study. It depends on you. But this is what I feel, that if you have some peers who is studying with you, it would create a more, means it would be better than studying online, right? Another thing is that the environment, the amount, the people, the students which we have here at Scalar, they are just fantastic, right? First of all, the diversity is good. All of them are self-minded. Somebody is doing a good tech internship. Somebody is building a good tech startup. Somebody is doing a research, right? So all kind of like-minded people you would find over here, which would help you in your career, right? So what I feel is that the people, you should be somewhere where the people are better than you, right? So it would create a FOMO, that is for sure, but it would help you, right? So it's that my friend is working this hard, I should also work this much hard to reach certain level, right? So that is the thing. And apart from that, you would have definitely gone through the website and the stuff about the innovation lab, about the curriculum, about the teachers, etc. They are just fantastic. So this because giving that quality, I think the fees are high, but yeah, if you are getting that quality, then it's best, and you are getting that quality. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the way you need to also evaluate this decision is that what am I paying for, right? Uh, you need to look at where the college is located, what are the kind of say resources or ecosystem that you get access to, right? And with this, how do the next say 35, 40 years of my career look like, right? Versus if I chose to maybe go to another college with slightly lower fees, uh, I might end up spending more time on settling down. Maybe I'm doing something on the side in terms of an online course, which requires me to be extremely self-driven, self-disciplined, right? Which comes with an extra additional commitment that you will have to do. I'm not saying that people don't do it, but the probability of people who are able to do these things on their own is slightly lower, right? Because there are so many other things that you are going through. So that's a call that you'll have to take for yourself. Evaluate this. That okay, these are the two colleges that I have. This college is located in this say city. The this is the say this is the faculty profile of people who will teach me or who I will learn from. What does my peer group look like, right? I think one of the things that I've constantly heard students at SST speak about is that their peer group has done wonders for them. Very competitive, very high quality peer group, and like they've always said, right, you are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. तो उस पे बहुत ज़्यादा आई थिंक एक बच्चे को इस पॉइंट पे इम्पोर्टेंस देना पड़ता है. So evaluate these things in that fashion and then look at the larger picture that, okay, I'm investing X rupees in Y college and I'm investing A rupees in, say, B college, right? What does the outcome look like at the end of 4 years? One, what is the size of that outcome, right? Second is, what is the probability of me getting a good outcome? And third, would the next 35, 40 years of my life look like if I choose this option, right? So that's how you'll have to make this decision for yourself. So with that, we are coming to an end to this session. I hope all your questions have been answered. What I'm also going to do is, in case you all have any questions that are unanswered, I am dropping the link on the chat box through which you can request a callback in case you want to speak to an admission counselor to get clarity on any aspect of your admission process, of the curriculum, etc. Please click on this link and request a callback. Our team will get back to you tomorrow morning and answer any doubts that you have. But thank you everyone for being patient for the last couple of hours. Thanks a lot, Hemkesh. We'll take your leave. Good night.
Thanks everyone. All the best for your exams, by the way, for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.